Well, in Serie A, Inter trail Juventus now by just 3 points, despite drawing their last 3 games. Identical scorelines, 1-1. Antonio Conte's wanted reinforcements. So far, they've signed Ashley Young and Victor Moses. It looks like Christian Eriksen is the next on board. The Spurs midfielder, whose contract expires in the summer, pictured in Milan today, reportedly taking his medical ahead of a €20 million move. Stewart, Robson, is this a game changer for Inter Milan?
I'm not sure it is. The way they play, Antonio Conte plays with the front two, which are the key to Inter Milan. They play with 3 midfield players. Brozovic is the holder. Barella and Sensi are good players. So he's going to come in for one of those, I'd imagine. Barella, he's a better passer of the ball than Barella, but he's not quite as dynamic. Barella will make runs into the box. Sensi will do exactly the same. So I think he'll come onto the right-hand side. Barella may move to the left. Sensi will be out the side, but he'll continue to rotate those players. It might just give them that extra edge. He might be able to rotate that a little bit more. He might get a better quality of pass out of Eriksen than he does out of those 2 other players. But I'm not sure it's going to be a game changer in terms of Inter winning the title. They're still a little bit way short of Juventus and maybe even Lazio.
I'm curious, guys. He's 28 next month. He was at Spurs for 6.5 years. Is there any chance we've already seen the best of Christian Eriksen?
28, you're in your prime.
Yeah.
Should be. Shouldn't be an issue. You're in your prime. I think it's a game changer in terms of squads. That's the big thing. And Conte is, Jesus, he's moaned like hell about squads and players and who he signs and who he's got. And they've backed him, pretty much backed him. And I think, all right, Young's not everyone's favourite, but he's an experienced player that can do several roles. Moses was the wing back for him at Chelsea. But it's about somebody being able to come on and potentially, and he might have to spend a bit of time on the bench, Eriksen, but it's about somebody that can come on and, as Robbo said, pick a pass or change a game. And I think that's the one thing he's maybe bemoaned a little bit, saying, well, I turned to my bench and I haven't really got that many game changers. Well, Eriksen's certainly in that category.
Over 300 games for Spurs, Stevie, and of course he's tailed off over the last year or two. Can he get back to where he was?
I don't see why not. 28 years old, he should be absolutely flying. I think the circumstances recently at Tottenham of what have been holding him back. But before that, he was the guy. He was the person who, from nowhere, could score a free kick or score from 30 yards. So if you're signing a guy who's capable of that, that has to make it a game changer.
Well, I agree that this is Inter making a statement and saying, look, we're in this race and we feel like we have a real opportunity to overtake Juventus. And so now we're sending that message to our players, to our fans, to everybody. We're willing to take the steps necessary in order to win the title. I would also say that at his very best, Christian Eriksen wasn't always the hardest working player out on the field. Is a guy that likes the ball on his feet. Is a guy that can pick a pass. Is a guy that likes space and the freedom to not only pick a pass but make himself as an impactful player in the attacking half. Antonio Conte is a guy that likes intensity and guys working and guys pressing and working together and working on that side but also coming back and working on the other side. And that's what he preaches and demands from his team. Those 2 things don't quite match. So somebody's going to have to give, and I think it's going to have to be Eriksen.
Yeah, I could see him working well with Lautaro Martinez because when his suspension's up, that is, for his stupidity at the weekend. But I could see him working well with him in terms of picking a pass because out of the 2 strikers that they play, obviously Lukaku is the big physical one that does a lot of the heavy lifting, and Lautaro Martinez's movement's pretty good. He's good at peeling off the shoulder and making those little runs, and Eriksen is very, very good at picking and seeing a pass.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.